Hey, good day, Ape Nation. My Marina is here. So I just got a few minutes, got to thinking. I've gotten a couple of DMs and requests. I know there's a lot of new folks that are stepping outside their boundaries and starting to invest, starting to really looking into the opportunity to invest in the stock market. I know a lot of this is, basically AMC. A lot of folks in this community in the Ape Nation's really been AMC and GME. And so you're new and you're probably getting in. There's a movement behind this, and there's a reason folks are doing this. There's a reason other folks are doing this as well, as an opportunity to make a bunch of money with the MOAS. If you don't know what MOAS is, it just sounds crazy, doesn't it? It just basically means mother of all short squeezes. So the theory behind the MOAS is basically a bunch of these stocks have been shorted, especially like AMC and GME, and they've been shorting it down big time, right? They've been driving that price down, which means there's a bunch of borrowed shares out there. If you haven't learned yet, they borrowed those shares. Well, it's not just these two companies. The theory behind it is there's hundreds and hundreds of companies that are shorted, is what they're saying. And so when those companies, this margin call is where the bank says, hey, we want our money back. We want our shares back that we loaned or whatever the case may be. These hedge funds and these institutions now got to figure that out. How do we get that money? Well, they also have what they call their longs. And so they're stocks that they've bought into and they've held on to for value. That's their value base, right? They're long, they're not shorting them, they're not selling them, they're just letting them sit. Well, are gonna get called. That's where you get money from, right? So they gotta start selling off those shares. A lot of people do longs in like your blue chip stocks, for example, things like that. So when they start calling those shares back, and then they have to sell those shares to get that money to pay that stuff back, and that way the banks can start buying back the shares and giving them back to who they were originally belonged to, right? Well, as that triggers, you're talking about a mass effect. So everyone's saying the mother of all short squeezes. We're talking about it being a chain reaction, like the dominoes falling and knocking over, and then all these different shorts. And I heard this one guy said that, it could be some guy back in the Midwest that's sitting on a company that's been shorted and shorted and shorted, and he doesn't even know, and all of a sudden he wakes up and he's a millionaire because he had a bunch of their shares and they decided to short it for years and he never knew it. So that's the mother, MOAS, okay? MOAS. That's why a lot of folks are in on that. So you'll hear about that. One of the things that was in my head too is I wanted to make sure, and it was a tough one for me, and I can't really say the words, so don't make fun of me, but it's vitality. Basically, just think of this, a ship on the ocean with a storm, get the waves hitting, right? So if you ever look at a chart, you'll see a price kind of goes up, and then a price goes down, and a price goes up. A lot of times that's healthy, that's normal. And when you first invest in a stock, you're gonna get a little nervous because you put some money in, and it seems like it, I swear to you, it seemed like every time I buy a stock, for like a while, it would go down. And I'm like, dang, I'm losing money. But I had to get past that because time is your friend. The idea is getting it and then allowing it to work its way up. So you just gotta look at the history. Go back and look at the history of all these stocks and you'll see over time when they're doing this. And that's the key, because if you buy in here over time, where do they end up? So it's just like a lot of us that bought into AMC back when it was $5, $6, $8, $9, because we believed in it. And now we're in the 40s, we were up to 70, and we know where we're headed. But that's the idea, it's getting in, holding it for the long term, learning from it, so that rockiness, that's okay. That's why you hear people buy the dip. Buy the dip basically means when that price is in the red. See, I don't like to buy on the green. Another thing is I don't like to get suckered in when it's green. It's running. You get that FOMO. What's FOMO? Fear of missing out. So that's a language you're gonna hear too, FOMO. A lot of people start buying in because they're scared now because they say, oh, wait a minute, it is something good, it's taking off. So you have to have reverse psychology. That's what the rich people do. They're gonna buy it when the price is down. They're gonna buy it when it's cheap. They're gonna buy it when it's red because they believe in it and it has fundamentals. And they know that it's gonna go back or up. So that's the thing you gotta think about too. So I like to buy in the red days. Red days are buy days. Green days, sell days if I'm gonna sell, or green days are just good days. Red days, great days. That's the way I look at it. Great days because it gives me a chance if I have a little bit of money to buy my favorite stock or whatever I'm doing at a very discounted price. Just like you've seen, we've been blessed with AMC being red. That's been giving a great price, man, in my opinion, for me to buy more. And I was able to buy a little bit more, especially for my wife. But that's the way they look at it. So you've got prepare for the rockiness. That's the emotional battle. I don't stress over that because I'm in it the long haul. I want to ride it and ride it and ride it. You get in one you believe in, the things you've learned, the fundamentals, you trust the company, you know it's the one you can trust. You believe in it because you've been able to use all that crowdsourced information, and you've been able to make a smart decision, and then you jump in that puppy and you watch it grow. And that's how I see my account grow massively doing that. Is holding, buying, holding, believing in it, buying more when I can on the dips. And if I decide that I need to sell, then I sell when it's ripping or when it's up in the green. And the other part of that FOMO is people freak out when the price is going down. And oh, I'm losing my investment, I'm losing my investment. So they try to sell as fast as they can. To me, that's not smart because I don't lose anything till I sell. So if that starts running down, if I did that with NIO, I was losing, I lost half my investment in NIO for over a year and a half. And then I got back 5 times my investment because I held long enough in NIO, I mean, probably more than that, I don't even remember, it was a lot. NIO, I got it like $4 or $5, and I sold it was like $45. So what is that, 5, 10 times my, but I had to wait a year and a half, almost 2 years. And some stocks are longer than that. So just to be prepared for that mentally, that ups and downs. Don't let, and I play with my hands a lot, you'll notice, but don't let that stress you out if you're gonna get into it. Another term you're gonna hear, FUD. FUD, the media, everyone out there likes to use FUD. I'm a professional salesperson. Best way to get somebody to do something is get them to fear of losing something. That's just a common technique, man, I'm telling you right now. So FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So all you gotta do is get you scared, which once you start getting scared, it starts to get you uncertain, then you start to doubt. And I'm gonna tell you what, you start doubting something, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna give up. And that's the way it's designed. So that's what they do in the media. That's what salespeople do. That's what generally people do. They get you afraid. So if you're afraid of losing something, it creates an action for you. So you can't get fooled by FUD. And you're gonna notice in this community that the media is a mastermind of FUD. They are like the FUD masters. And you will see on the weekends, especially on Sundays, how they put out all them FUD articles about what we're doing, because they coming at us. So you gotta be a FUD hunter, FUD hunter, FUD hunter, right? You can't let that stuff bother you. You gotta think for yourself and not be manipulated by the media and manipulated by everything else. Now, granted, 90% of this world tends to be born with a follower mentality, like we wanna follow, but deep inside you have the strength. You have the mental capacity and the capability of making a damn decision for yourself. So don't let the media tell you what you can or cannot do. I know this. I've spent 20 years almost sitting with clients and talking with them. You can make that decision. You just gotta be able to do it. So don't let the FUD with you. And let's see, what's another terminology? You know, you get this language and you just start to understand it, and then you don't even, you just read it or hear it and you kind of already know it. So to just pull it off the top of my head. So we'll just kind of leave it there for now. Give some more stuff as we go along, or things that I can find as well. I thank you for tuning in. I hope we can get a lot of support as we get this crowdsourced EDU up and running. This is genuinely, if you obviously already know, coming from my heart. I love this. It is a mission now for me. It is a calling. This ain't about the financials whatsoever. I'm gonna make my money off of AMC, so I'm not even worried about that. This is about what I can give back to my community, because my community and my world gave me a beautiful wife, a wonderful family, lots of wonderful kids. You know, they drive me crazy sometimes, but God has blessed me, and this is my duty to bless you. So hopefully this is helpful. Not ever gonna tell you what to buy, but I am gonna tell you to stand up and make a decision for yourself, and I will encourage you to do that, I promise you. Love you guys. My Marine out.